Okay, so point slope form is what we're going to be talking about. Here's the equation or the formula for point slope form. It is y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. All right, so if you look at the formula, it's a point slope form. All right, so here is our slope. Immediately when we see m, we should know that that is slope. And then somewhere within all of this, we have to have a point. So if you look on here, x1, y1, that's our point. So these two together make our point. So our point, xy. They're going to give us a slope and a point, and we can plug in and we can convert to however we want. All right, so let's go ahead and start with example number 1. Okay, if they give us that our m is equal to 8, and then our point is -4, 6. Okay, so we start off by writing our formula. Y minus y1 equals m x minus x1. Okay, so first thing I do is I plug in my m, which is 8. Okay, my x, my y do not change. And then now I've got to take my x1 and plug it in here, and then my y1 and plug it in there. Okay, so minus my x1 is a -4, minus a -4, and my y1 is a 6, so -6. Okay, make sure that's plus. Now that's put in point slope form. Remember, we like to graph using slope intercept. So we really want to get it in y equals mx plus b form. Okay, so we start by distributing. 8 times x is 8x. 8 times a +4 is a +32. Bring down your y, bring down your -6. Okay, we want the y by itself, so we add 6. Those cancel. Y equals 8x. 32 plus 6 is a +38. Okay, here's the next one. If they give you a slope of -4 and the point 3, -2. Okay, so I start by writing my equation. Y minus y1 equals m x minus x1. Okay, first point you're always going to, or the first part of the equation or the formula you're going to put in there is your m. That's -4. X minus my x1 is 3, so -3. Over here we have y minus my y2 is -2, so minus a -2. This becomes a plus. Drop down your y plus 2, and then I need to distribute. -4 times x is -4x. -4 times a -3 is a +12. I want y by itself, so I'm going to subtract 2. Y equals -4x. 12 minus 2 is a +10. Now I have it in y equals mx plus b. Notice how my slope is not changing, right? M equals -4, yep, m equals -4. However, my y-intercept, I now know what my y-intercept is, which is a +10, so I can go ahead and graph it if I need to. Okay, that's why we always want to put it in slope-intercept form. Let's do one more. Actually, we might do a couple. Let's do this one. M is equal to -5 fourths, and my point is -5, -1. Okay, so y minus y1 equals m x minus x1. Okay, y minus my -1 is, or my y1 is a -1, -1 equals, my slope is -5 fourths over, or parentheses, x minus my x1 is -5. Okay, now make these both positives, positive, right? So over here I've got y plus 1. Over here I need to distribute. Negative 5/4 times x is a negative 5/4 x. A negative and a positive is a negative. 5 times 5 is 25. 25 divided by 4 is just 25/4. Okay? And then I need to subtract 1. Subtract 1. So y equals negative 5/4 x. And then I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know what that is. Well, it's 4 over 4, so it'd be negative 29/4. Okay? All right. Another thing that they could ask us to do, so your go-to should be to convert it to slope-intercept. We're going to talk about converting it to standard next week in class, but I don't want to really go to standard too much. You should think of standard form when you're thinking of intercepts, and really that's it. But they could just give you, let me see, they could just give you one straight up. In point slope, right? And then they could say, hey, what's your slope? And you should be able to look at that and say, okay, that's y minus y1 equals m parentheses x minus x1. Okay, my slope is negative 3. But you should also be able to turn that into slope intercept. So negative 3 times x is negative 3x. Negative 3 times negative 1 is a positive 3. Bring down your y plus 2. And then I want y by itself, so I subtract 2. Y equals negative 3x. 3 minus 2 is a positive 1. Okay? Here are your practice problems. All right, so the first one, I just want you to convert to slope-intercept. Let's give you this one. Y plus 3 equals negative x minus 5. And then the rest of them, I'm going to give you a point and a slope. And I want you to write it in point slope and then convert to slope intercept. So let me write that down. So use point slope form and then convert to slope intercept form. Slope intercept form, which is what we just did on all of our examples. All right. So if your m equals 0 and your point is 3, 1, your point is, or your slope is negative 4 and your point is negative 3, 2. Okay, your slope is 1 and your point is a negative 4, negative 6. And last one, your slope is negative 2/3 and your point is negative 9, negative 6. All right, have those ready for Monday.